Namaste. I'm Carl Jylland-Halverson. I'm a professor of psychology at the University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne, Indiana. But I'm also an ambassador for the Council for the Parliament of the World's Religions. The Parliament will be held this October 2015 in Salt Lake City, Utah, and that'll be the fourth time that that's occurred in the United States. It's a very big deal. The Dalai Lama will be one of the keynote speakers. Dr. Karen Armstrong will be one of the keynote speakers. There'll be at least 4 Nobel laureates, possibly more, so that when the Parliament convenes, it will be the largest gathering of Nobel laureates on the planet at that time. And so I'm going to be spending the time between now and October going to various faith communities in Fort Wayne, preparing myself for this extraordinary experience in Utah, but also savoring the religious diversity that is Fort Wayne. I can't remember a time that I wasn't interested in interfaith dialogue, and so it's permeated my life. And so I have a number of interests. They include working with survivors of human trafficking, working with homeless, especially homeless youth, and working with exploited males. And all of that work brought me to Chicago for sabbatical at Emmaus Ministries. And while I was there, during my free time, I attended all different ethnic churches. And so I went to a Coptic church, an Ethiopian Pentecostal church, a Gypsy church, an Arabic-speaking Lutheran church, an enormous Unitarian church, lots of Ukrainian and Russian Orthodox churches, Chinese church, Hispanic churches, Polish cathedrals, and then I also attended the Baha'i Temple, and I also started attending gay, lesbian, and queer churches in support of some of the men I was working with. And that included going to a GLBT welcoming synagogue. From Emmaus, I ended up attending the International Christian Alliance on Prostitution Global Conference. And while I was there, I was invited to go to Nepal to provide training for some of the agencies. And so in the summer of 2010, I was in Nepal, Thailand, Malaysia, Bangladesh, and India. And I, in between work, attended and participated in worship in Christian churches, a Catholic church that had been bombed, but also Buddhist temples, Tibetan Buddhist temples, mosques, beautiful mosques, Hindu temples. I met with Parsi, and so it was a very diverse and exciting time. I moved to Fort Wayne, and when I moved to Fort Wayne, I was expecting it to be a typical small, homogeneous Midwest town. Well, I was totally wrong. Our local high school speaks 36 languages. And we are a large catchment area for refugees and immigrants, and so we have refugees from all over Africa, and so we have African Christian and African Muslim worshippers. We have the largest Burmese population outside of Burma, and in fact we are having a new Burmese mosque being built, which is the first Burmese mosque built anywhere in the world in the last 60 years. We have Jains and Hindus and Baha'is and Unitarians and secularists, and so lots of diversity. So I'm going to use this time between now and the Parliament as an excuse to do what I love to do, which is to go to various homes and houses of worship and observe, participate, interview worshipers, to talk to people in the community who are very involved in the interfaith dialogue. Our mayor has a committee that meets every year and leads us in a day of prayer for the city. And it's all the different faiths. It's very exciting, vibrant, beautiful. We have a tradition of having an interfaith Thanksgiving service, and we have interfaith cooperation for social issues, such as homelessness and, and helping folks who are poverty-stricken. So I'll be working with all of them and recording it, and I will be reflecting on things I've done in the past, using some old video, but also looking forward to your interaction, to you talking about your experiences with interfaith, going to a powwow or a bar mitzvah or something that's out of your normal range of experience, and what it was like. It's an extremely important time for us to have interfaith dialogue. The world is too easily divided into stereotypes and overlooks the very common humanity that we share. And so the Parliament is going to focus on women in worship, but women in the larger community, on climate change, on poverty. There'll be nights of all different types of worship, brotherhood and sisterhood. And so I encourage you to look at the website for the Parliament. You might want to attend, and in which case this would be a really good time to register, since there's a dramatic discount early on. But also just to share. So I look forward to this coming year of traveling throughout Fort Wayne and visiting people and hearing chanting and seeing beautiful houses of worship, but also seeing people who are living their faith and know for them that faith is loving. And so look forward to that. I do have some props because I'm just a talking head today. So we have a large Hindu population in Fort Wayne, and in our city they provide lots of culture for the rest of us. They have beautiful concerts every year of classical Indian music, and they have great holiday celebrations, but they also work with the larger community. We have a sizable Sikh community, so that we have 2 gurdwaras, or houses of worship. We have a member of the Sikh coalition who has attended briefings at the White House twice, and I'll be interviewing her. We don't have any Taoists or Confucians, but we did have a lady from Indonesia here who attended the Indiana Buddhist temple, even though she was a Taoist, because she thought it was as close to fit as possible. And the Indiana Buddhist temple is a Sri Lankan temple. It's one of the number of Buddhist temples in town, and it provides Dharma teaching, but also meditation training for the larger community. It's a very popular place. We have, I'm trying to maneuver here, we have a number of Orthodox churches, both Orthodox and also Eastern Catholic. And so we have a Greek Orthodox church, but we have a large Macedonian population, so we have a Macedonian Orthodox church. And then we have an Orthodox church that's really for converts and people who've married into the faith, and so their liturgy is predominantly in English. We have 5 mosques in town. So Omar, this is my token Sufi, okay, and the mosques are extremely welcoming. They look forward to people visiting. They work with the larger community. I've attended 2. I look forward to attending the other 3. We have Baha'is here. We have a Hindu house of worship. And so I'll be going to as many of these events and places as possible, sharing it. But again, looking forward to your sharing as well. So as we journey on this pilgrimage from Fort Wayne, Indiana to Salt Lake City and the Parliament of the world's religions, peace and all good.